Hola, continuamos hablando de inteligencia emocional aplicada a ventas. Hoy la compañía nos brinda el entrenamiento de Balance Approach. Muchos de nuestros mercados han tomado este entrenamiento y veamos básicamente de qué se trata. En principio, The Balance Approach habla de cómo nivelar nuestra presentación entre lo analítico y racional y esto tan importante que es lo emocional. Sabemos que la gente toma decisiones por emociones, como ir desarrollando cada vez más la parte emocional. Veamos qué es el Balance Approach.
So, what is the balanced approach? Don't all great minds make decisions based on logic and reason? In truth, logic alone often causes decision paralysis, as we become confused by either too much or too little information. The result is answers like, "I need to think about it," which we all know is the same thing as no. But most people are largely motivated by what makes them feel good, positive emotions, especially with purchasing decisions. Our emotional side says yes, because it feels right. This isn't just conjecture, this is science, neuroscience. The left part of your brain that handles logic is complex. It takes time to process. However, the limbic system, the right half, where emotions are processed, is actually where the decisions are made. The limbic system is also a much simpler system, and therefore responds much faster than the logic system. This is why we experience a gut reaction. Our emotional response is triggering first, and it's usually right. But logic is the stronger force in decision making, right? Without emotional bias, wouldn't all decisions be perfect? Well, as it turns out, when someone has had severe damage to the limbic system, they can't make any decisions at all. They can't decide what to wear, what food to order. They can't even decide if they should turn left or right. Without the emotional side, without being able to imagine the possibilities, we simply revert to, "I need to think about it." Analysis paralysis. People's first reaction will always be an emotional one, unless they are talked out of it or given too much to think about. The emotional reaction is natural. It's how we're built. Thank goodness for the emotional part of the brain, because that is where decisions are made. The balanced approach reminds us that if decisions are in fact made based on emotion, we need to focus in on it and back it up with logic. If you want more yeses, simply speak to the heart.
Cuando queremos entender cuál es la parte emocional de nuestros clientes, tiene mucho que ver con el por qué hacen las cosas. No tiene que ver tanto con qué cosas hace, ni cómo las hace, sino con el por qué hace las cosas. La razón que determina qué y cómo. Aquella razón que determina qué hacer y cómo hacerlo. La explicación del producto es cómo hacerlo. El qué son los viajes que realiza el cliente. Ahora, hoy lo que vamos a tratar de descubrir es el por qué. Veamos una conferencia del TED donde nos van a contar cómo es esto de entender el por qué en las emociones del cliente para explicar un producto.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, There's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do, 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this: we make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. The goal is not to do business with everybody who needs what you have. The goal is to do business with people who believe what you believe. Here's the best part. None of what I'm telling you is my opinion. It's all grounded in the tenets of biology, not psychology, biology. If you look at a cross-section of the human brain, looking from the top down, what you see is the human brain is actually broken into three major components that correlate perfectly with the golden circle. Our newest brain, our Homo sapien brain, our neocortex, corresponds with the what level. The neocortex is responsible for all of our rational and analytical thought and language. The middle two sections make up our limbic brains, and our limbic brains are responsible for all of our feelings, like trust and loyalty. It's also responsible for all human behavior, all decision-making, and it has no capacity for language. In other words, when we communicate from the outside in, yes, people can understand vast amounts of complicated information like features and benefits and facts and figures. It just doesn't drive behavior. When we communicate from the inside out, we're talking directly to the part of the brain that controls behavior, and then we allow people to rationalize it with the tangible things we say and do. This is where gut decisions come from. Sometimes you can give somebody all the facts and your figures, and they say, I know what all the facts and details say, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would we use that verb? It doesn't feel right. Because the part of the brain that controls decision-making doesn't control language. And the best we can muster up is, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. Or sometimes you say you're leading with your heart or you're leading with your soul. Well, I hate to break it to you, those aren't other body parts controlling your behavior. It's all happening here in your limbic brain, the part of the brain that controls decision-making and not language. But if you don't know why you do what you do, and people respond to why you do what you do, then how will you ever get people to vote for you or buy something from you, or more importantly, be loyal? and want to be a part of what it is that you do. Again, the goal is not just to sell people who need what you have, the goal is to sell to people who believe what you believe.
Ahora, ¿cómo aplicamos esto a nuestra presentación de ventas? Es mucha información y podemos perdernos. Vamos a dividir nuestra presentación de ventas en 4 partes. El relacionarse, al comienzo de la presentación, el descubrimiento, el abogando o cuando estoy explicando la mecánica y por último en el cierre. En el relacionarse yo me debo conectar con el cliente desde mi persona. Yo tengo que mostrarle al cliente mi porqué. El por qué estoy en Marriott, por qué me dedico a la industria del turismo, por qué me dedico a una actividad que hace que otras gentes y familias viajen. Veamos las diferencias en un relacionarse de tipo emotivo o no, en un relacionarse desde la óptica del cliente con alguien que lo único que le interesa es ganarse una comisión con mi venta. Veámoslo.
All right, let's be honest. When you get ready for another tour, how often do you think, oh great, they toured with us 91 days ago. Let's get this over with. You know what? That's fair, because your guests are probably prejudging you too when they come into your sales presentation. Oh great, another typical salesperson, only interested in the money. Don't trust a thing they say or do, and certainly don't say yes to anything. Even though both of you are completely trustworthy with positive intentions, the other one doesn't know that. And isn't it only natural to feel reluctant to share personal details with someone you haven't established trust? So how do you overcome this initial lack of trust? It's actually quite simple. Show that you're human. Show that you care and have some fun. After all, you're selling vacations to people who are on vacation, and it really helps guests to relax if you establish some common ground first. Relationships are a give and take, and it's exactly what our guests want. Show a little vulnerability before you dive into the discovery phase and ask them to share their vulnerabilities to get you on the right track. So don't just get it over with. Spend some time getting to know them and let them get to know you. Really understand their needs, their lifestyle, and then customize the presentation to them. They'll love you for it.
Para poder hacer un relacionarse adecuado, para poder contactarme o conectarme emocionalmente con mi cliente, tengo que contarle mi historia personal. Una historia personal mía que muestre parte de mi corazón para poder conectarme con el corazón de él. Por lo tanto, voy a descubrir dentro de mi historia qué hay emocionante que me lleva a mí a dedicarme a esto. El poder de contar una historia. Una historia es un relato que contiene varias variables, ¿sí? Veamos cómo es de poderoso una historia.
Sitting at his daughter's wedding rehearsal, watching her celebrate the start of a new life, Myron felt an unsettling rush of joy and guilt. Joy because seeing Ginny so happy, the life of the party, brought back 1,000 perfect memories of the moments that lead to here. Guilt because he kept wishing there was time for just a few more. It reminded him of the time he came home to Ginny, then just 8, crying in her room. A girl in class was throwing a huge birthday party, but Ginny wasn't invited. Myron hugged her and said, "Forget about them. What would you like to do?" Ginny said, "Let's go to Disneyland, just you and me." Myron realized that he had made plans with his friends to play golf. He felt torn, the guilt of both tugging at him, but quickly said, "Sure, let's go." And they did. An entire day spent laughing, cheering, and screaming as they explored every corner of Disneyland. As the sound of a spoon hitting glass rang across the room, Myron was brought back to the present. He gazed at Ginny as she prepared to give her toast. He noticed all the smiling faces staring up at her and realized she had lots of people in her life, lots of love. She wouldn't always need him or have time for him, and that's okay. "To my father," she said, because the best day of my life until this one was the day he took me to Disneyland. The funny thing is, we're all Myron. We all have things tugging at us, and as a result, we often feel guilty that we don't spend enough time with our children. And yet, to them, those are the very best moments of their life.
En el relacionarse, debo contar una historia personal que conecte mi corazón con el corazón del cliente. Si yo le muestro parte de mi corazón, me voy a poder conectar con parte del corazón del cliente. ¿Y cómo lo voy a hacer? Contando una historia personal. La historia tiene que tener 4 condimentos importantes. Un escenario, el primer relato, donde estoy cuando la historia despierta, había una vez en un pueblo lejano. Una complicación, algo que pasa y complica todo, ¿sí? Un punto culminante de la historia, donde hay 2 caminos, voy para acá o voy para allá, y como final una resolución que normalmente es un final feliz, ¿sí? Que es lo que nos interesa a nosotros. Veamos el poder de la historia.
Once upon a time, 2 girls competed to be the most popular girl in town. Their names were Truth and Story. They decided to settle their rivalry with a simple contest. Each girl would walk through town and see who was greeted by the most villagers. Truth went first. She walked down the middle of the street as she passed through the heart of town, but no one came out to greet her. Story went next, and she only made it a few steps before villagers began flocking to her. Story, it's good to see you. How are you? They asked as she made her way through the crowds. Truth was devastated. Story, she said, drying her eyes, you win. Everyone loves you. But why? Story said, you and I are not so different. I have truth in me too, but nobody wants to hear the naked truth. Story removed her cloak and said, here, take this. What is it? Asked Truth. Emotion, answered Story. Wear it, and you too will become Story.
Ya tengo mi historia personal dentro de relacionarse. Ahora tengo que hacer un descubrimiento emocional. Descubrir los porqués del cliente. ¿Por qué el cliente viaja y no solamente un descubrimiento cuantitativo? ¿Dónde, cómo, cuándo, quiénes, cuánto paga? Sino que ahora lo que voy a tratar de descubrir es algo más cualitativo. El porqué que veíamos antes. Veamos un descubrimiento emocional, cómo está basado.
It's time for a lesson in emotional discovery called Good Idea, Bad Idea. Good idea? Discovering your guest could only afford to go to Paris, Kentucky for their honeymoon, and they want to make up for it with their 25th anniversary by going to Paris, France. Bad idea. Discovering your guest doesn't like playing 25 questions and has plans of a dream trip to anywhere but here. Good idea. Discovering your guest didn't travel as a child and that they don't want to do that to their own children in the future. Bad idea. Skipping discovery and selling your guest the quantifiable value proposition of a statistically fun trip by communicating an endless series of features options by using our product. Good idea. Discovering your guest is sending their last child off to college and has always wished they had the time for a romantic cruise for 2. Bad idea. Discovering how far your guest's jaw drops when you talk and 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 talk. See, in the discovery phase, it's important your guest feels comfortable enough with you to share their innermost vacation experiences and why they are important to them. You need these little glimpses into your guest's family and vacation lifestyle and what emotionally motivates them. Then, you can customize your presentation around their emotional triggers. The right approach is key to helping them realize their whys.
Ya tengo una historia personal dentro de relacionarse que me conecta con el corazón del cliente. Ya dentro del descubrimiento he descubierto las razones por las cuales el cliente viaja. El aniversario de bodas, el cumpleaños 15 de su hija, un tema de salud, porque siente que si no baja de revoluciones puede tener alguna complicación de salud. Tiempo de calidad con la familia, o sea, recargar las baterías, energía, por prestigio, ¿sí? Ya encontré las razones emotivas que hacen que este cliente tome una decisión. Ahora viene la explicación mecánica. Recuerden, relacionarse, descubrimiento, la mecánica, y en la mecánica voy a explicar el producto basado en ese descubrimiento emocional previo. Vamos a hacer un planner donde esté su aniversario de bodas, el cumpleaños de 15 de su hija, que esté, no sé, este descanso anual, porque si no, su salud le va a pasar una factura por tanto que está trabajando, o este viaje prestigioso a un destino que lo haga ver a él frente a sus amigos como una persona de gran importancia. Veamos cómo podemos estar explicando la mecánica desde un lugar donde lo emotivo sea predominante.
Now that we've discussed emotional discovery, let's talk about the power of using emotional triggers to advocate based on what you discovered. The most important thing here is to remove the focus from the logical. Sure, it's great to establish the what behind the vacation. This is a huge part of the excitement. While talking about Paris, remind them that it is a promise kept to celebrate their 25th anniversary. While putting them in the picture of windsurfing in the Caribbean, remind them that it brings out the pure joy of living. While discussing Disney World, remind them of the new family tradition of a vacation with everyone. When describing the romantic getaway to Las Vegas, don't forget the why. They promised each other at least one long weekend per year, just the two of them. When you show the family reunion, remind them of how important spending time with the grandparents can be. Your guests won't buy product features alone. We need to sell them on their whys, whether it's an anniversary, promise kept, or the joy of living, creating new family traditions, or just being with each other, or a long overdue family reunion with the grandparents. If you can highlight that emotional need, then you're no longer selling them a commodity. You're providing them with a life-changing experience. That's priceless.
Por último, va el cierre. En el cierre, ¿qué es lo que vamos a estar invitándole al cliente a que tome una decisión? Sobre cuánto comprar en cuestión de dinero versus mantenimiento versus lo que está gastando de vacaciones. No. Hoy la decisión que le vamos a estar pidiendo a nuestro cliente tiene que ver con toda esta presentación emocional del balance approach. Está la base racional, ahora necesitamos la base emotiva, que es la que sabemos que hace que tome la decisión. Ese por qué justifica el cómo y el qué. El porqué emotivo del cliente justifica el costo del producto, justifica el pago de mantenimiento, porque ya el producto se mide por su valor, no por su costo, por lo que representa el producto para él. Si este producto representa para él salvarse de un infarto porque está trabajando demasiado, no hay dinero que compense eso. Si este producto lo lleva a él a conectarse con su familia, que es lo que él más desea en el mundo, el producto justifica por su valor todo lo que el producto exige como esfuerzo económico. Entonces, invitemos al cliente a tomar una decisión relacionada con la emoción. Lo que estamos decidiendo hoy es las vacaciones con tu familia por el resto de tu vida. Conectarte con tus seres queridos, darle tiempo de calidad a ellos, modo en que tú los recordarás y ellos te recordarán a ti. O lo que estamos decidiendo hoy es tu salud, no estamos decidiendo tus vacaciones, estamos decidiendo cuánto tiempo más vas a vivir, si vas a vivir 2 o 3 años más o vas a vivir una vida extensa. Lo que estamos decidiendo hoy es tu relación de pareja. Estamos decidiendo la relación entre ustedes dos. ¿Cuánto vale esta relación para ustedes? Cuando nosotros ponemos en un plano emotivo la decisión, todo se justifica. Si nos quedamos meramente en el plano racional, la discusión va a ser 100% económica. Si sirve o no sirve económicamente el producto. Ahora, eso es costo. Apuntemos al valor. Recuerde, 4 momentos donde vamos a meter la parte emotiva. En el relacionarse con mi historia personal, de carácter emotivo, en el descubriendo el por qué el cliente viaja, en la mecánica, haciendo la explicación del producto y los planners basado en las razones por las cuales el cliente viaja, que las descubrimos un momento antes en el descubrimiento, y en el cierre, donde vamos a invitarlo a tomar una decisión ligada a la emoción más que al producto racional. 4 partes. Vaya cambiando la presentación de a poco. Vaya desarrollando primero su historia personal, bien practicada. Luego vaya tratando de averiguar no solamente cuándo, cómo y dónde, sino también por qué su cliente viaja, qué razones lo llevan a viajar. Tercero, meta esas razones dentro de la explicación del producto y del planner, de cómo serían sus próximas vacaciones. Y por último, invítelo a tomar una decisión ligada a estas emociones de las cuales estuvieron hablando a lo largo de toda esta presentación. Solamente empiece a cambiar su presentación de a poco, no toda a la vez, parte por parte. Y un día se va a encontrar que más cantidad de clientes van a estar comprándole de los que te están comprando hoy. Entonces, 4 partes, 4 puntos donde la emoción talla. Practique, revise su presentación luego de que salió de estar con el cliente, piense qué sucedió ahí, si hizo lo que tenía que hacer, ensaye, practique, vea videos, capacítese, pida ayuda a su gerente, vea quién lo está haciendo mejor y pídale ayuda, pídale que lo acompañe. Este negocio es un negocio de capacitación permanente. Un médico se capacita permanentemente, un contable se capacita permanentemente, un abogado se capacita permanentemente. Usted, si es profesional, se tiene que capacitar permanentemente. Capacitación y práctica, capacitación y práctica, capacitación y práctica siempre. Cuando le va mal, cuando le va bien, siempre. Esa es la invitación. Hágalo.
Flesh and blood to the bone. I'm not made of stone.